Hi, I'm Joe.
I'm Debbie.
And I'm Deanna.
And you're watching Word of Mouth.
But let it be known here and now, I'm a Texan through and through, okay? A Texan who was born in Connecticut, went to boarding school in Massachusetts, and college at Yale and Harvard. I would have gone to the University of Texas for law school, but there was one issue. I was not accepted.
Tonight I saw You're Welcome, America, a final night with George W. Bush. It was with Will Ferrell.
The show opens where you hear the helicopter and you see the flashing lights on the stage, and you know he's coming in. And sure enough, coming right down from the ceiling.
The story is really him kind of looking back on his 8 years, and not only just the 8 years he was president, but it was him looking back on his life, how he started, what he did before he was a president, where he went to school, and different snippets of his life leading up to this moment where he's about to leave the White House. The
way that the show set up, it was actually pretty brilliant because there's 3 screens behind him, and that kind of follows along with the story, and it plays a big role into, they throw some photographs up there. And then there's certainly, things throughout the show that kind of look back in history where the three screens really back up the message that's being sent.
He separates each vignette or scene by a slight change of clothing. So he goes from the red tie and the suit at the beginning, then you're in Crawford, Texas, and he's got the hat on and the rope, and he changes into the outfits when he was on the aircraft carrier. So it's little slight changes that take you from time to time during his presidency.
Will Ferrell plays George Bush. He does an excellent job. I am a Will Ferrell fan ever since SNL skits and More Cowbell, and I do enjoy his movies as well.
You already know Will Ferrell's coming out as George W. He's got the swagger, he's got the walk, he's got the talk, and he's just funny. He's witty, he's clever.
This was him becoming George Bush. I mean, truly, about 10 minutes into it, you just kind of forget it's Will Ferrell, and then you just kind of have to remind yourself, okay, this is Will Ferrell. This is not George Bush.
He's got his mannerisms and his little picadillos down. I mean, he definitely did a good job with certainly pegging him and doing a good impersonation of him.
He was talking about how great he is at giving nicknames to people, and he literally, the lights in the theater went up and asked people to, raise their hand, and he would give them a nickname based on what they did. And he was so quick and so on it. It was very impressive to me.
I think the country was kind of ready for this characterization. I think just like, I don't know why we seem to enjoy making fun of politicians, but maybe it's a release at a difficult time. I don't know. You didn't need to wait to poke fun at the last 8 years of this president.
I was apprehensive coming to the show because I am a young, good-looking Republican, obviously. But certainly I was apprehensive that it was just going to be a lot of Bush bashing and everything else. But it really didn't come off that way, and I think that's a true credit to Will Ferrell.
To me, this wasn't as much Bush bashing. It's just taking his little idiosyncrasies, if you will, and his mannerisms, and kind of just sensationalizing, different ways about him.
When he talked about the war, it was almost like a poignant part for a bit where he did feel remorse. There was that moment of silence that he asked for, but even when he talks about the families and the children and the sons and the civilians, where that's the only time in the show where he's not going for a laugh, and you feel it.
It shows that he has a heart, and that he's just kind of a normal human being, and that was nice. But I really didn't feel like it was Bush bashing. I thought it was really somebody who's really good at comedy, somebody who's really good at impressions, but that takes it to the next level, really.
I think there's a lot more play on pop culture more than let's bag on George Bush. I think Will Ferrell does an unbelievable job of doing that. And it's not just, here's my stage and I'm going to, basically beat up our president.
It's just funny. I mean, you laugh. The laughs, the first 20 minutes were hysterical. I think the audience was wild at the beginning. Then it kind of evens out a little bit, but you laugh the entire time the show is on. It's really just a nice night to sit back, almost laugh at yourself in a sense, because kind of we put them there. So it's a lot of fun.
I laughed the entire time. There wasn't, I mean, it was just so funny, and it was truly funny. It's just hysterical.
I would say, if you can grab the tickets, by all means, go and see it, because it's more of just a slap your knee comedy night.
My friends, I know, will come to see the show and will enjoy it, and will also get a big kick and a good laugh for 90 minutes.
Even friends of mine that are, super friends and family that are super, probably conservative and probably don't like all the Bush bashing and might think that it really is, not something that they would want to go see. I think that they would even enjoy it. It's just really, really funny.
Democrats and Republicans can piss their pants together because it is a funny show.
How is New Orleans doing? A lot of it still hasn't been rebuilt? Yeah. It's funny, you would have thought after my initial mess up that I would have dedicated more of my second term just to checking in on New Orleans, but I didn't. No, you're right, Brownie, you hit the nail on the head. Americans do have short attention spans. It's great because you can just half-ass shit and it doesn't matter. Yeah. Oh, Brownie.